Okay, I know you've gone out and you've explained a little bit about what exactly happened, but who here exactly is to blame for what we saw yesterday?
Well, I think it's too early to say who's to blame, right? Our focus yesterday was clearly to understand the problem, solve the problem, and then make sure the community was involved with us when we went live. Today's job is to make sure the systems run as it normally can. We clearly have time for further postmortems, but I say the general theme that we're focused on going forward is we have to improve our defensive driving ability. So this system has been around for 20 years. It works well. Its uptime is remarkably high. Then things happen in the external environment that causes a problem.
Okay.
So our job is say, okay, there will be problems coming at us. We live in this...
So what's the backup then?
What's that?
What's the backup for the next time?
Well, one, to improve your defensive driving, to make sure that no matter what happens, the system stays up and the system has a resiliency and a robustness that we did not exhibit yesterday.
But if it doesn't, though, Bob, are there options like moving trades onto another exchange?
Well, see, what happened here, and something the industry has to think about, there's 13 competitive exchanges. Us and the others worked well yesterday. There's one single called SIP, which consolidates and disseminates the market data. So the industry has talked about for years, should there be a competing SIP, and I think we support that concept.
How do you prevent this from happening the next time?
Improve defensive driving. We have to always be thinking what can go wrong in the external environment. How can we get body blows that don't impact us? And so we're focused on that. And I think we as an industry will focus on that. So it's one thing that programs work for 20 years, assuming the other players are operating a certain way. It's when the unforeseen happens, the system has to be resilient and robust enough to handle that.
Bob, why did it take so long for you to come out to make any statement, for the Nasdaq to come out and make any statement about what was going on?
You know, our communication yesterday, I think, was something we're very satisfied with. So what
You're satisfied with it?
Yeah. Very,
Traders were complaining, investors were complaining. They heard nothing from the Nasdaq for hours.
Let me say exactly what we did. So the first thing we did is to have an open line with all the other exchanges, all right, a part of the UTP committee, all right, because we couldn't take any moves with the SIP because it's really not ours to control without them being involved. So that open line went through the whole process. So it wasn't like it was episodic, it was constant. Then we wanted to communicate to the trading community. So about 1 o'clock, we had an open line coordinated with SIFMA, which is the industry body. So that was an open line. So this is not, again, one update every 15 minutes, but a constant open line. They knew exactly what was happening as it was happening. In addition to that, we sent out 24 head trader alerts during this period of time. So anybody associated with that...
Did you feel that you needed to be out there in front? You were not.
No, could not be. We're focused on solving the operational issue, right? Our plan of attack, and we do this again every time, is one, understand the problem, solve the problem, and then make sure all those directly involved are involved and can respond accordingly. And that's one of the reasons we had to go, I call it really like pre-flight risk checks, right? System came down, we had it fixed within a half hour, we're ready to go. We're involved with intensive communication going through the pre-flight checks. So that communication is very intensive.
Were you talking with the regulators? The SEC has said
definitely.
This is a serious situation. Fines may be coming along the way.
We were talking with the regulators. I'm saying the level of communication during this period of time was constant. We had 2 open lines going, head trader alerts going, communication with the regulators. We were not on television. We're not public. Not the time to do that. Obviously, today is the time for us to talk about what transpired. But yesterday, we had to focus on fixing the problem. The people directly involved had to be involved with us, and they were. The people who had to know, did know, and worked with us. And what we're proud of is the fact we came live. The market operated normally through the balance of the day.
Bob, I have to say, though, right in the thick of this, we were talking with various market participants, investors, and they all raised the issue. Look, this is the second major fiasco, really, at the Nasdaq. You had the Facebook IPO, and now you have this halt here, this computer glitch. Should Bob Greifeld still be in this job?
Well, I think we're proud of our overall record. Clearly, we're deeply disappointed with what happened yesterday. But we run markets around the planet. Our systems are operating 7/24, and our uptime is remarkable. And we know we live in a situation where technology is a wonderful thing. We could not do what we do today without technology.
But do you still feel that you have the credibility of, you have the trust of the investor community to continue to lead the Nasdaq?
Well, I think when you look at the performance of Nasdaq, the stock, and Nasdaq, the business, we've done quite well. And, you know, our stock is up, 20-something% this year. So that part is going well. The actual business...
It did take a hit from this, though.
Yes, and I think it will come back. I think it's a great buying opportunity for people. But our performance in the marketplace has really been superb, right? So we've executed our business plan. In many ways, we're better positioned now than we've ever been. We're making a strong effort into fixed income. Our corporate solutions technology business is stronger than ever. So we have technology customers around the world. It's our fastest growing business, and they recognize our technology prowess. Now, we're not perfect, right? And we are disappointed what happened yesterday.
Were you concerned that that companies coming to list might say, I'm not going to go to the Nasdaq, I'm going to go to the NYSE then?
Well, certainly we are in a competitive situation, and we certainly stand by our track record over a long period of time. And we are getting compliments with respect to the fact that how we handled yesterday. We opened the market quite successfully. And again, we stopped the market because we wanted to make sure all investors were protected. So what happened is we consolidated data for the 13 exchanges. As soon as we saw that had an issue, our first concern was the proprietary firms, high-frequency firms, had access to data directly from exchanges. Okay. So there's information asymmetry. We halted the market because of that. We quickly identified the problem, quickly solved it, went through very extensive pre-flight checking, communicating actively with everybody.
But Bob, I hear what you're saying. You're explaining all of this, but again, how do you instill investor confidence this will not happen again?
Well, I would say first, we aspire for perfection, right? We do. We'd like to get to 100% uptime, right? I don't think we're ever going to get there. We're at 99.99 something today. We need to get better. We're working on getting better. But as importantly, when something does happen, right, we have to have the process and the procedures in place, the communication to handle that. And that's what we intend to excel at, seeking perfection, and we're going to excel at responding to when perfection doesn't exist.